I stand in the center of my living room, taking in the soft glow of fairy lights strung across exposed brick walls I spent weeks restoring by hand. The banner I crafted from vintage wallpaper scraps catches the light. Happy birthday, Mira. Friends and family mill about, their laughter mingling with the clink of glasses and the warmth of celebration. 4 years of backbreaking renovation work transformed this space from a deteriorating shell into my dream home. Every detail, from the restored crown molding to the hand-stained hardwood floors, carries a piece of my soul. Even Nathan, my usually stoic brother, had whistled in appreciation when he first saw the finished product. A sharp knock at the door cuts through the festivities. An attendant in a crisp uniform stands rigidly in the doorway, holding an elegantly wrapped silver envelope. "Miss Harding?" His voice is clipped, professional. "This requires your immediate attention." My fingers tremble as I untie the delicate bow. The paper feels expensive, heavy with unspoken weight. As I unfold the document inside, the bold letterhead strikes like a physical blow. Notice to vacate. The room spins. 21 days. They're giving me 21 days to leave my home. I look up to find every eye in the room fixed on me. Matthew and Lillian, my parents, exchange glances loaded with something I can't or don't want torrid. Nathan's face has gone pale, his champagne glass frozen halfway to his lips. The silence spreads like poison. "What is this?" My voice comes out strangled, barely recognizable. The beautiful cake on the counter, its candle still unlit, seems to mock me with its cheerful presence. "Now, Mira, let's discuss this rationally." Sienna's voice cuts through the tension, smooth as silk and just as cold. My cousin steps forward, her designer heels clicking against the floors I spent weeks refinishing. "The market is incredibly hot right now. It would be foolish not to capitalize on such an opportunity." Capitalize? The word tastes bitter. This is my home. I've put 4 years of my life into this place. The apartment remains in Matthew and Lillian's names, Sienna continues, as if explaining something simple to a child. The financial potential is simply too significant to ignore. Memories flash through my mind like a cruel slideshow. Sienna's knowing smiles at family gatherings, Nathan's awkward silences, my parents' evasive answers about finalizing the property transfer. All those little moments I dismissed, now forming a picture I can't unsee. "You knew." I turn to my parents, my voice cracking. "You've known this was coming." Lillian wrings her hands, unable to meet my eyes. Matthew clears his throat. "It's just business, sweetheart. Nothing personal." Nothing personal. The renovation receipts in my office upstairs. The permits. The thousands of hours of work. The dreams I'd poured into every inch of this space. Nothing personal. My hands clench into fists, crumpling the notice. Tears burn behind my eyes, but I refuse to let them fall. Not here. Not in front of them. I retreat to my study, my sanctuary. Blueprints and renovation sketches cover the wall's testament to everything I've built, everything they're trying to take away. The city lights twinkle beyond the window, unchanged and uncaring. What am I going to do next? The question hangs in the air like smoke, choking but clarifying. Because deep down, I already know the answer. This isn't just about an apartment anymore. This is about justice, about truth, about family bonds twisted into weapons. And I'm done being their target. My gaze shifts to the detailed timeline pinned above my discovery permit. Every renovation milestone meticulously documented. Sienna might think she's orchestrated the perfect betrayal, but she has no idea how thoroughly I document everything. Every email, every conversation, every suspicious glance. I run my fingers along the edge of my grandmother's silver locket, drawing strength from its familiar weight. Sienna's calculated treachery ends here. I'll expose every manipulation, every lie she's whispered in my parents' ears. She thinks I'll break quietly, disappear with dignity. She's about to learn how wrong she is. My hands shake as I spread the renovation documents across my desk, each one a piece of the life I've built here. The soft glow of my desk lamp illuminates permit applications, contractor agreements, and material receipts, 4 years of dreams crystallized in paper and ink. Something catches my eye. The signature on the latest building permit doesn't match the others. I grab my phone, pulling up a photo of the original document. Stomach lurches. The dates are wrong, the new permit is backdated 3 months. But I remember filing it just 6 weeks ago. No, I mutter, diving deeper into the stack. More inconsistencies emerge. Notary stamps with mismatched dates, permit applications with subtle alterations, contract drafts that shouldn't exist. Each discovery hits like a physical blow, forming a pattern I can't ignore. The wall of evidence before me tells a story of calculated deception. Sienna hasn't just been planning this eviction, she's been orchestrating it for months, manipulating documents and falsifying permits. My cousin's perfectly manicured fingerprints are all over this betrayal. A soft knock interrupts my investigation. Nathan stands in the doorway, his tall frame casting a long shadow. His face is drawn, guilty. I've never seen my usually confident brother look so small. Can we talk? His voice cracks slightly. I gesture to the chair across from my desk, not trusting myself to speak. Nathan sits, his eyes fixed on his hands. I should have told you sooner, he begins, the words tumbling out in a rush. At Mom and Dad's anniversary party last month, I overheard something. My heart pounds as Nathan describes the scene. Sienna and Damien, CEO of Meridian Real Estate Group, tucked away in Dad's study. Their voices carried through the partially open door Sienna's smooth confidence, Damien's calculated interest. She was laying out the whole plan. Nathan continues, running a hand through his disheveled hair. Talking about market values, profit margins, quick sales. She made it sound so clinical, like she wasn't destroying someone's home, like she wasn't destroying your home. The betrayal cuts deeper with each word. And you said nothing. I convinced myself it wasn't real, Nathan whispers. That Sienna was just talking, dreaming big like she always does. But then I saw her meeting with Mom and Dad, planting doubts, playing on their fears about the market crashing. I turned back to my evidence wall, seeing it with new clarity. A pattern emerges in the email threads, each one meticulously crafted to exploit our family's weaknesses. To Dad, Sienna emphasized market volatility and lost opportunities. To Mom, she spoke of securing their retirement, playing on her lifelong financial insecurities. The timestamps paint a devastating picture. 3 months of systematic manipulation. Look at this, I say, pulling up an email chain. She's been feeding Damien information about our family finances for weeks. Guest lists from family events, renovation budgets, even Mom and Dad's retirement plans. My voice shakes with anger. She's not just selling the apartment, she's selling us out. The scale of Sienna's betrayal becomes clear as I organize the evidence. My cousin, always the perfect one, the successful one, has been orchestrating this scheme with the precision of a surgeon. And Damiani's name appears in email after email, his influence casting a long shadow over our family's future. His reputation in the real estate world makes him dangerous. His connection to Sienna makes him lethal. My phone buzzes. Elsie's name lights up the screen. She's been helping me compile evidence since the party, her background in corporate law proving invaluable. I found something, she says without preamble. Those permit alterations? They're tied to a series of property deals Damien's company pushed through last year. Same pattern, same tactics. Send everything, I tell her, already clearing space on my desk. We need. A text from an unknown number cuts me off. The message makes my blood run cold. Back off now, or you'll regret it. Some things should stay buried. Asterisk. I show Nathan the text. His face pales. Mira, maybe. Number. I cut him off. Steel in my voice. I'm done backing off. I'm done being manipulated. I reach for the bottom drawer of my filing cabinet, pulling out a folder I'd almost forgotten about. My hand steady as I open it, revealing one final piece of evidence zone that could bring Sienna's whole scheme crashing down. Nathan leans forward. What is that? I look up at my brother, a grim smile playing at my lips. That depends on how badly Sienna wants to play this game. The crystal chandeliers of the Grand Regency Hotel cast dancing shadows across polished marble as I navigate through clusters of silk dresses and tailored suits. Tonight's charity gala should be about supporting local historic preservation. Instead, my phone buzzes incessantly with notifications as Sienna's carefully crafted lies spread like wildfire across social media. I slip away from the crowd, my heels clicking against the floor, as I make my way to the private lounge. The leather chair creaks as I sink into it, pulling out my laptop. My hands tremble slightly as I log into my email, but my resolve hardens as I dig deeper into Sienna's corporate account archives. Got you, I whisper, opening a series of emails that make my blood run cold. The timestamps don't match the metadata. The permit numbers are sequential when they should be random. Every falsified document is like another knife in my back, but it's also ammunition. A notification pops up, another live stream from Sienna. Her voice flows smooth as honey through my earbuds. Of course, we're deeply concerned about the structural integrity of the renovations. The safety of our community must come first. My fingers curl into fists. The renovation permits are spotless. I spent months ensuring every detail was perfect. But there it is on the screen. Doctored inspection reports casting shadows on my work, carefully leaked to maximize damage. The recording I discover next nearly stops my heart. Sienna's voice crisp and clear. The property values in that neighborhood are about to skyrocket, Damien. Once we force a quick sale, the returns will be astronomical. A male voice, Damien, chuckles in response. Your cousin won't know what hit her. I sit back, my mind racing. The gala continues beyond the lounge doors, a symphony of clinking glasses and polite laughter. Sienna is out there right now, probably working the room with that practiced smile. Every handshake, every air kiss is another thread in her web of manipulation. The next evening, the Bellevue Manor dining room breathes old money. Crystal stemware catches the light, white tablecloths gleam immaculate. The perfect stage for what comes next. I wait until the main course arrives, then stand, my chair scraping against hardwood. I have something to share. My voice carries across the table. Sienna's fork pauses halfway to her lips. I have copies of every email you've sent regarding my property. My hands shake, but my voice stays steady, including the ones where you discuss falsifying inspection reports with Damien. The silence is absolute. Sienna's practiced smile doesn't waver, but her knuckles whiten around her fork. Mira, darling, you're making a scene. Perhaps we should discuss this privately. Like you discussed my eviction privately? I pull out my phone, clicking play. Sienna's voice fills the room. The property values in that neighborhood are about to skyrocket. The color drains from her face. That's enough. Sienna's voice cracks like a whip. You're clearly unstable. Number. The word comes from behind me. I turn to see Nathan standing, his dinner napkin crumpled in his fist. She's not unstable. I heard you, Sienna. That day in your office with Damien. I heard everything. Elsie rises next, her eyes blazing. I have copies of the original permits, every inspection report. Would you like me to show everyone here the difference between Mira's actual renovation documentation and your creative edits? Something shifts in the room. A current of whispers, the rustle of silk as people lean forward. I feel it in my bones, the moment when truth begins to outweigh lies. Sienna's mask slips for just a second, revealing the calculation beneath. I retreat to my study later that night, surrounded by the evidence of years of work. Blue permits line the walls, each one a testament to dreams built brick by brick. The city sparkles beyond my window. My city, my home, my truth. I reach for my grandmother's locket, its silver warm against my palm. The weight of it grounds me as I begin methodically organizing the evidence. Each document goes into a color-coded folder, each digital file uploaded to secure cloud storage. My attorney Jonathan's business card sits on my desk, his reputation for handling fraud cases exactly what I need. My phone buzzes, a message from Samantha Clark, the journalist who's been following the local real estate market for years. Another from Gregory Holt, the community board president. Allies gathering, drawn to the scent of corruption exposed. The last piece falls into place when Uncle Robert calls. His voice is heavy with guilt. Sienna's been working on this for months, Mira. We should have seen it sooner. Should have said something. I hang up and stare at the final file on my desktop. The recording I haven't shared yet. The one that captures Sienna and Damien in an unguarded moment, spelling out their entire scheme. My secret weapon, waiting for the perfect moment. Tomorrow is the town hall meeting. Tomorrow, everything changes. The question isn't whether I'm ready. The question is, are they? The town hall buzzes with tension. Every seat is filled. Residents, investors, reporters clutching notepads. Camera phones point toward the podium like accusing fingers. The utilitarian space is a far cry from Sienna's carefully curated galas, but power feels different here. Raw, real. My laptop connects to the projector with a soft click. The screen behind me illuminates, blank and waiting. In my pocket, the flash drive feels heavy with truth. Thank you all for coming. My voice carries across the room, steady despite the pounding of my heart. I'm here to share some information about the proposed development deal for Highland Avenue. Sienna shifts in her seat in the third row, her designer suit stark against the metal folding chairs. Damien sits beside her, his usual smooth confidence showing hairline cracks. I pull up the first document. These are the original renovation permits. My fingers move to open the video file, the recording that will shatter their carefully constructed lies. The screen flickers, goes black. Murmurs ripple through the crowd. Someone coughs. I feel sweat trickle down my spine as I click frantically, trying to restore the connection. Technical difficulties? Sienna's voice drips with fake sympathy. Perhaps we should move on to the number. I straighten my shoulders, meeting her gaze directly. We're going to see this through. Every last second of it. The truth doesn't need perfect timing. It just needs to be heard. The screen flickers back to life. The rosewood banquet hall glitters with false promises. Crystal chandeliers cast rainbow prisms across the champagne flutes and designer dresses of Silicon Valley's elite. My heels sink into thick carpet as I make my way through the crowd, each step measured, deliberate. This engagement party Sienna and Damien's crowning achievement is about to become their undoing. I catch my reflection in a gilded mirror, structured black blazer, hair swept into an elegant chignon, grandmother's silver locket gleaming at my throat. My hands don't shake as I pull out my phone and send the signal to Elsie. 3 quick taps. Showtime. The projector screen descends silently behind the stage where Sienna stands delivering her speech, her voice dripping with practiced charm. Damien and I are so blessed to have such wonderful family and friends. Her words fade as the first document appears on screen. My original renovation permits, dated and notarized, followed by her forged versions. The differences are stark, damning. Murmurs ripple through the crowd. Sienna's voice falters as she spots the projection. Her champagne glass trembles, catching the light like a crystallized warning. I think, I say, my voice carrying across the sudden hush, we should discuss the real estate deal you've been orchestrating. I step onto the stage, each click of my heels against hardwood a punctuation mark. Specifically, how you forged documents to steal my home. Sienna's perfectly lined lips part in shock. Mira, this is hardly the time. Actually, it's exactly the time. I pull out my phone again, and the recording fills the banquet hall. Sienna's voice, clear and cold, discussing the fraudulent sale with Damien. Their words echo off marble floors and crystal stems. Once we get rid of her, the property's ours. Investors shift uncomfortably in their seats. I spot Mrs. Chen, one of our biggest backers, leaning forward with narrowed eyes. 2 real estate developers exchange worried glances. The truth spreads like wine across white carpet. It's impossible to ignore, impossible to hide. This is absurd. Sienna sputters, her composure cracking. Mira is clearly unstable. She's always been jealous of my success, my relationship with Damien. The documents speak for themselves. I cut in, gesturing to the screen, where proof of her deception continues to scroll. Every forged permit, every manipulated contract, every secret meeting, all meticulously documented. These are obviously fabricated. Sienna snaps, but her voice has lost its silk. She turns to the crowd, desperation bleeding through her perfect makeup. You all know me. I would never. I can verify these documents. Nathan's voice rings out as he stands, tablet in hand. My brother's face is pale but determined. I have the original email threads right here. Elsie steps forward next, her own evidence ready. I have the notary's sworn statement confirming these signatures were forged. The room erupts in whispers. Damien, I notice, has gone very still, his knuckles white around his champagne flute. The grand romance of the evening sours as reality sets in. Their perfect facade is crumbling, one exposed lie at a time. Sienna makes one last attempt to salvage her reputation. This is nothing but a vindictive display from a failed designer who has proof of everything. I finish for her. I pull out a final folder slim, elegant, devastating, including evidence of something much bigger than a simple property grab. The folder's contents spill across the projection screen, documents linking Sienna and Damien to a wider web of real estate fraud, each connection more damning than the last. The silence that follows is absolute. Even the crystal chandeliers seem to hold their breath. The question isn't just about one stolen home anymore, is it? I ask, my voice carrying to every corner of the suddenly airless room. It's about how deep this deception really goes, and who else might be involved. I lock eyes with the assembled investors, the influential family members, the real estate moguls who came to celebrate love, but found fraud instead. Their faces reflect varying degrees of shock, anger, and dawning realization. Some already have their phones out, no doubt calling their lawyers. In the end, it's Mrs. Chen who breaks the silence. I believe, she says, rising from her seat with elegant dignity, we all need to reevaluate our business relationships. Her words fall like a judge's gavel in the stunned quiet. I step back from the microphone, my part done. The evidence speaks for itself now, spreading through the crowd like wildfire. As chaos erupts around me, Damien arguing with his lawyer in harsh whispers, investors demanding explanations, family members choosing sides, I catch my reflection again in that gilded mirror. The woman staring back at me isn't broken anymore. She's brilliant, fierce, unstoppable. But there's more to come. As I scan the documents one final time, names jump out at me: corporations, shell companies, a web of connections far beyond Sienna and Damien. This isn't just about my apartment. It's about an entire network of property fraud, stretching across the city like a spider's web. Damien's face has lost all color as he stares at the screen, no doubt recognizing the implications. His perfect posture crumbles as he loosens his tie, eyes darting between the exits. He knows as well as I do this exposure threatens not just his engagement, but the entire carefully constructed empire he and his corporate partners have built. I step back to the microphone one last time. When faced with betrayal, I say, my voice clear and steady, do we stay silent to keep the peace, or do we expose the truth no matter the cost? The question hangs in the air like crystal chimes, a challenge to everyone present. In the tense silence that follows, I catch fragments of whispered conversations. How deep does this go? Who else is involved? What other properties? And I'm just beginning. I grip the edges of the podium at the Langston Convention Center, my knuckles white against the polished wood. The crowd before me ripples with tension faces I've known my whole life, now twisted with uncertainty. Sienna stands at the back, her designer heels planted firmly on marble floors, megaphone raised like a weapon. My legal team from Harrison and Yale will be filing immediate action, she announces, her voice amplified and distorted. Anyone supporting Mira's fraudulent claims will face severe consequences. My tablet chimes with notifications, dozens of them. On the screen, doctored images flood social media, receipts with altered dates, permits with fabricated signatures. My renovation project, my 4 years of work, painted as a web of deception. Sienna's PR team works fast, flooding every platform with their carefully crafted lies. The evidence clearly shows systematic fraud. Sienna continues, her voice echoing through the megaphone. Years of financial mismanagement and permit violations. She gestures to the screen behind her, where manipulated video clips play on loop moments from renovation updates, twisted and edited to support her narrative. Independent media representatives huddle over laptops, their faces illuminated by screens as they fact-check in real time. The first whispers of doubt ripple through the crowd. I catch fragments of conversation. The timestamps don't match. These signatures. But I work faster. Speaking of fraud, I say into the microphone, my voice steady despite the thunder of my heart, let's talk about evidence. I tap my tablet, and the convention center's massive display screen flickers to life. The first email appears Sienna's message to Damien, timestamp clear as crystal. Once we force the sale, the profit margins will be astronomical. Mira's too naive to fight back. Murmurs ripple through the crowd. Sienna's megaphone wavers. With methodical precision, I work through my presentation. Each piece of evidence lands like a physical blow. Here's the original permit application, and here another swipe is Sienna's forged version. Note the identical signature, pixel for pixel. Forgery software leaves traces, cousin. The crowd shifts closer to the screen. A journalist in the front row types furiously on her laptop. I catch Nathan's eye and the audience nods, almost imperceptibly. Behind him, influential investors lean forward, their expressions hardening as the truth unfolds. This is absurd, Sienna snaps, but her voice cracks. Those documents are clearly time-stamped and notarized. I pull my grandmother's locket from beneath my blazer, clicking it open to reveal a tiny USB drive, including the audio recording from your meeting with Damien last week, the one where you outlined the entire scheme. The megaphone slips from Sienna's fingers, clattering against marble. The sound echoes through suddenly still air. I reach into my pocket and withdraw a single business card, crisp white against my dark sleeve. The logo gleams. Jonathan Reed Law Offices. With deliberate slowness, I hold it up for the crowd to see, then let it fall. It lands face up on the podium, a declaration of war in letterhead. The power in the room shifts like a physical current. Where Sienna once commanded attention, she now stands isolated. Damien steps away from her, his phone already at his ear. Even from here, I catch fragments. Withdraw immediately. Reputation risk can't be associated. The formal lawsuit will be filed today, I announce. Anyone involved in this conspiracy has 24 hours to come forward voluntarily. After that, I let the silence hang, heavy with promise. Long-standing family members who once wavered now step forward. Uncle Marcus, his voice carrying across the room. This manipulation ends now. Aunt Helen, typically reserved, adds her public denouncement. Each declaration lands like another nail in the coffin of Sienna's scheme. The convention center erupts in controlled chaos. Investors pull out phones. Family members cluster in urgent discussion. But I keep my eyes on Sienna as her carefully constructed world crumbles. Her face drains of color as her most powerful allies, family friends, business partners, even her PR team begin to distance themselves, creating a visible void around her. In the aftermath, I stand alone in the now hushed convention center. My hands move mechanically, gathering evidence files and storing backup drives. Each document represents a piece of my life I've had to fight to protect. The renovation receipts, the permit applications. 4 years of dreams defended through sheer force of will. The quiet feels heavy, meaningful. I settle into a corner chair, allowing myself a moment to absorb the magnitude of what's just happened. My reflection in the darkened windows shows someone changed harder, perhaps, but unbroken. That's when I see it. Buried beneath the chaos of the past few weeks, a new email catches my eye. The sender, an anonymous corporate whistleblower. The subject line makes my breath catch. Sienna's scheme, just the tip of the iceberg. I stare at the words, my mind racing. The email suggests a pattern of corruption extending far beyond my apartment, beyond Sienna and Damien. A network of real estate fraud that could shake the entire market. The convention center's lights dim, signaling the end of the event. But for me, this feels less like an ending and more like a prelude. I close my tablet, the whistleblower's email burning in my thoughts. Some people say revenge is best served cold, but I've learned it's best served with irrefutable evidence and perfect timing. What do you think is the most satisfying part of seeing a villain brought to justice? Would you ever risk everything to expose the truth? Morning light streams through the expansive windows of my living room, casting long shadows across the restored hardwood floors. I pause in the center of the space, letting my fingers trail along the smooth grain of wood I'd spent countless weekends sanding and staining. Each board tells a story not just of renovation, but of reclamation. The soft glow catches the brass handles of my grandmother's antique sideboard, now proudly displayed against the exposed brick wall I'd painstakingly restored. My reflection fragments across its polished surface, a woman transformed, standing taller, eyes bright with hard-won wisdom. I moved to adjust a frame on the wall of photograph from that fateful night at Langston Convention Center. Sienna's engagement party. The night everything changed. In the image, crystal chandeliers cast fractured light across shocked faces as I stood at the podium, evidence in hand. The memory still bites, but the pain has mellowed into something else. Something stronger. Nathan appears in the doorway, his presence a quiet comfort rather than the source of tension it once was. "Coffee's ready," he says, holding out a steaming mug. The easy gesture speaks volumes about how far we've come. He takes in the photograph, his expression thoughtful. Sometimes I still can't believe how it all played out. Neither can I. I accept the coffee, breathing in its rich aroma. But every step led us here. The doorbell chimes, and I welcome my guests, the ones who stood by me when everything fell apart. Elsie arrives first, her warm embrace as fierce as ever. Jordan follows, his shoulders still tight with the weight of his own workplace betrayal. Others filter in, friends, family members who chose truth over manipulation, allies who helped expose the corruption that had poisoned my family for so long. We gather in the dining area, where laughter and genuine conversation have replaced the hollow pleasantries of the past. Soft jazz plays from the vintage record Player Another restoration project that proved more rewarding than expected. The music mingles with the clinking of glasses and honest conversation, creating a symphony of healing. I find Jordan by the window, his gaze distant. "How are you holding up?" I ask, recognizing the look of someone wrestling with betrayal's bitter taste. "Some days are harder than others," he admits. "The legal team says we have a strong case, but..." He trails off, fingers tapping nervously against his glass. "But you're worried about the personal cost," I finish. "The sleepless nights, the constant second-guessing." I lean against the windowsill, choosing my words carefully. When Sienna first orchestrated my eviction, I thought I'd never trust anyone again. But here's what I learned. Exposing the truth doesn't just protect you, it protects everyone they might have hurt next. Jordan's shoulders relaxed slightly. How did you stay so focused? Keep fighting when it felt impossible. I documented everything. I explain. Every conversation, every email, every suspicious glance. Build your case like you're constructing a house solid foundation first. Then add each piece with purpose. And most importantly, I meet his eyes. Remember, you're not alone. The gathering continues into early evening, but eventually I find myself alone on the balcony. The sun breaks over the horizon, painting the sky in shades of promise. Below, the city awakens, unaware that its skyline now represents something different, to me not a reminder of what I almost lost, but a testament to what I've gained. I pull out my tablet, fingers flying across the screen as I refine my latest project, a community initiative to protect others from similar exploitation. The program will offer legal resources, documentation strategies, and most importantly, a network of support for those facing institutional betrayal. The sunrise bathes my face in warmth as memories flash through my mind. The day I received the eviction notice, the night I discovered Sienna's manipulation, the moment I finally exposed the truth to everyone at her engagement party. Each memory strengthens my resolve. This apartment, once a battlefield of family loyalty versus justice, now serves as command central for something bigger than myself. I lean against the railing, feeling the solid metal beneath my palms. The city stretches before me, full of stories waiting to be rewritten, wrongs waiting to be righted. My own story has shifted from victim to victor, but it's not the end. It's a beginning of sunrise breaking through the longest night, illuminating the path forward for others who might follow. This is my new purpose, my true renovation project. And this time, I'm building something that can never be taken away. How do you think overcoming betrayal can change a person's life? Share your thoughts and any similar experiences in the comments below. I never thought preparing dinner could feel like a meditation, but here I am, letting the steady rhythm of my knife against the cutting board calm my racing mind. The kitchen me sanctuary in this upscale home I've worked so hard to create wraps around me in warm copper and gleaming marble. Soft jazz floats from the speakers, mingling with the sound of vegetables hitting the hot pan, the sizzle a counterpoint to my measured breathing. The crystal wine glasses catch the light as I set them on the table, each placement deliberate, exact. Like everything else in my life, precision matters. It's what built my boutique from a dream into the success it is today, what transformed me from just another hopeful entrepreneur into someone who matters in this city. The sauce needs stirring. I adjust the heat, watching the rich burgundy liquid swirl against the pan's edges. The aroma of fresh herbs rises with the steam, and for a moment, I let myself believe this evening might actually bring the peace I've been chasing. My phone buzzes against the marble countertop. The screen illuminates with Derek's name, and something in my chest tightens. 15 years of marriage, and somehow his messages still make my heart skip, though lately it's been more from anxiety than anticipation. I wipe my hands on my apron and reach for the phone. The message preview appears, and the world stops spinning. Claire needs our support. I'm moving in with her. I've already withdrawn $18,000 from our joint account. The words blur, then sharpen. Blur again. My sister's name sits there like a knife between my ribs. Claire, my baby sister, the one I practically raised after Mom died. And Derek, my hands begin to tremble, just slightly, just enough to make the phone shiver in my grip. The jazz still plays, incongruously cheerful against the roaring in my ears. Memories flash rapid fire. Late night calls Derek claimed were work. Hotel receipts tucked in his jacket pockets, dismissed with easy explanations I chose to believe. The sauce is burning. I move on autopilot, sliding the pan off the heat. The motion is smooth, controlled. Everything about me is controlled right now, because if I let go for even a second, I might shatter into pieces too small to ever find again. $18,000, I whisper to the empty kitchen. The number feels obscene, clinical, like a doctor announcing time of death. I set the phone down with exaggerated care and walk to the living room. The city sparkles beyond floor-to-ceiling windows, lights twinkling like nothing has changed. Like my husband hasn't just left me for my sister, like they haven't been. God, how long? How many of those late nights were spent with her? How many times did I console Claire through her loneliness while she was sleeping with my husband? The designer sofa catches me as my legs give out. I've built my life on being strong, on never showing weakness. The boutique taught me that you have to be twice as tough to be taken half as seriously in this business, but right now, strength feels like a foreign concept. My mind races through years of moments, recoloring them with suspicion. Every family dinner. Every time Claire stopped by the house unexpectedly. Every business trip Derek took that coincided with my sister's vacations. The betrayal isn't just in what they've done, it's in how blind I've been. I pushed myself up, steel replacing the shock in my spine. The woman who built a business from nothing doesn't break. She calculates, she plans, she strikes. Back in the kitchen, my movements are precise, measured, clinical. I finish laying out the table, the perfect tableau of the life they think they've destroyed. Crystal glasses catching light, fine china waiting for a meal that will never be served. Silver gleaming with accusation. My fingers hover over the phone. The response needs to be perfect cutting enough to draw blood, controlled enough to show them exactly who they're dealing with. I type 4 words. You'll regret this, both of you. The message sends with a soft whoosh, a promise, a declaration of war. I stand in my immaculate kitchen, surrounded by the remnants of the life I thought I had, and I ask myself the question that will shape everything that comes next. What will I do when everything I trusted falls apart? The answer is simple. I'll rebuild it all, better, stronger, and they'll watch me do it. Have you ever faced a betrayal that shook you to your core? How did you find the strength to fight back? The antique oak desk beneath my fingers grounds me as I settle into my private study, trying to focus on the mundane task of checking email. Anything to distract from the hollow ache in my chest. The screen blurs, then sharpens as I blink away exhaustion. A small paperclip icon catches my eye, an attachment I don't remember seeing before. My cursor hovers over it for a moment before I click. The Grand Regency Hotel's logo spreads across the top of the scanned receipt, the date from 2 months ago burning into my retinas. $450 for a single night. My stomach lurches as I remember Derek's casual explanation about a late meeting with clients. My phone buzzes, and I grab it instinctively, hoping for, what? An apology? A confession that this is all some cruel joke? Instead, I find a folder of messages I never knew existed. Derek must have forgotten to lock it when he left. The words swim before me. Can't wait to see you again, beautiful. Missing your touch. Soon we'll be together properly. The messages are addressed to Claire. My hands begin to shake, and I set the phone down before I drop it. The evidence stretches before me like a roadmap of betrayal, each message, each receipt, each carefully crafted lie leading to this moment. The sister I practically raised, the husband I thought I knew. Their betrayal spreads through my chest like poison. I force myself up, needing to move, to act. The sleek kitchen that usually brings me such peace now feels like a mockery of control. My laptop opens with a soft click, and I pull up our bank statements. The numbers march across the screen in neat, accusatory rows. There it is, $18,000. Not withdrawn all at Oncino, Derek was too clever for that. Small amounts spread over weeks. Jewelry from Cartier, weekly flower deliveries. Hotel charges that coincide perfectly with Claire's solo vacations. The Grand Regency appears again and again, a recurring reminder of their deception. Each transaction feels like a physical blow. How long have I been this blind? How many times did I comfort Claire through her supposed loneliness while she was... The thought cuts off as bile rises in my throat. I push back from the counter, letting sunlight streaming through the living room windows wash over me. The warmth does nothing to ease the chill that settled in my bones. Derek's face swims in my memory, the charming smile that won me over 15 years ago now twisted with calculation. Every late-night call, every business trip, every unexpected delay reshapes itself in my mind. The caring husband transforms into something else entirely, a predator who saw my success as something to be exploited. And Claire. My chest tightens as I remember our last conversation, just 3 days ago. How she'd called crying about feeling lost, about needing direction in her life. Had she been with him then? Had they laughed afterward about how easily I fell for their act? The buzz of my phone breaks through my spiraling thoughts. A text from Jonathan Pierce, my lawyer. The meeting is set for 2:00. Relief floods through me finally, something concrete to hold on to. Jonathan's office on the 32nd floor surrounds us in leather and authority. Law books lining the walls like silent guardians. Modern art pieces saw sharp angles and bold colors punctuate the space between mahogany shelves. He listens without interruption as I lay out the evidence, his expression growing grimmer with each revelation. Beside him, Veronica Adams, me mentor since I first dreamed of opening the boutique, takes notes in her precise handwriting, her presence a steady anchor in the storm. The unauthorized withdrawals alone are grounds for immediate action, Jonathan says, voice steady and reassuring as he spreads documents across his desk. We're looking at potential financial fraud here. First step is freezing any remaining joint accounts. His pen taps against a legal pad. Then we'll file for an emergency hearing to prevent further withdrawals. Veronica leans forward, her steel gray hair catching the afternoon light. The boutique is protected, we made sure of that when you first opened. But your personal assets. She pauses, choosing her words carefully. This isn't just about money, Madeline. They've orchestrated a calculated betrayal at every level. We need to move fast to protect what's left. Jonathan's fingers fly across his keyboard. I'm drafting a cease and desist order right now. We'll have it served first thing tomorrow. He looks up, his eyes sharp behind his glasses. But you need to understand the stakes here. If we don't act immediately, you're looking at potential financial ruin. Derek's already shown he's willing to drain your accounts, and with Claire involved. He lets the implications hang in the air. I grip the arms of my chair, forcing myself to focus on the practical steps, the actionable items, anything to keep from drowning in the emotional undertow. What exactly do you need from me? For the next hour, we build a fortress of legal documents and financial safeguards. Every signature feels like another brick in the wall between my old life and whatever comes next. My hand stays steady, even as my heart trembles with each new revelation of vulnerability, each potential avenue of attack we have to guard against. You've built something remarkable with that boutique, Veronica says as we finish the last of the paperwork. Don't let them take that from you, too. The words sink in slowly. Protected. As if I'm some victim who needs saving. But looking at the stack of evidence before us, at the careful notes Jonathan's taking about account numbers and dates, I realize that's exactly what I am. For now. Later, in the quiet of my study, the lamp casts shadows across my keyboard as I log into our banking portal. Each keystroke feels like another nail in the coffin of my marriage. Transfer confirmed. Accounts frozen. The practical side of me knows these are necessary steps, but something deeper mourns for what I've lost. The final email sits unopened in my inbox, from Derek, sent just hours ago. The subject line makes my blood run cold. Investment opportunity beneficiary update. What else have they been planning? What other betrayals lie buried in the perfect life I thought I had? The question haunts me as night creeps in, carrying with it shadows of doubts I never knew I had. What hidden truths still lurk behind the facade of our seemingly perfect family? The television flickers in my office, Derek's face filling the screen. He's chosen his navy Armani suit, the one I bought him last Christmas mints, that practiced smile that used to make my heart flutter. Now it just makes my stomach turn. As a husband and brother-in-law, I had to make difficult choices, he tells the WQXY anchor, adjusting his tie with practiced casualness. The funds in question were managed with the family's best interests at heart. I mute the television, my fingers white-knuckled around the remote. The pamphlets he's been distributing through his lawyer's office sit on my desk glossy paper filled with carefully crafted lies. The timeline he presents is a masterwork of manipulation, painting himself as the noble protector. If I wasn't living through this nightmare, I might almost believe him. My phone buzzes. Jonathan Pierce, my lawyer. Derek's filing for emergency access to the business accounts, he says without preamble. He's getting desperate. Let him. The words come out sharp as broken glass. Through the window of my boutique's corporate office, I watch customers browse the new fall collection I curated before my world imploded. How long until the hearing? Thursday. You ready for this? The question hangs between us. Am I ready to dismantle the life I spent 15 years building with Derek? To expose every lie, every secret meeting, every stolen dollar? Yes. The answer comes without hesitation. The confrontation at the Magnolia Hotel wasn't planned. I'm leaving a meeting with our accountant when I spot him crossing the courtyard, autumn sun catching the silver in his hair. For a moment, muscle memory nearly makes me call out to him. Then I remember the text messages, the bank statements, the receipts for jewelry I never received. My heels click against the cobblestones as I stride toward him. His steps falter when he spots me, that practiced smile flickering like a faulty light. Maddie, he starts, using the nickname that once meant love, and now sounds like another lie. $18,000. My voice carries across the courtyard. A few people slow their pace, sensing the electricity in the air. That's what family means to you? A quick withdrawal and a text message? You don't understand, Claire needed. Don't. The word cracks like a whip. Don't you dare use my sister to justify this. I've seen the hotel receipts, Derek, the secret account statements. How long were you planning this? His composure cracks. Just slightly. Just enough for me to see the man behind the tailored suit and practice lines. It wasn't like that. We never meant. To get caught? The laugh that escapes me doesn't sound like my own. You know what the worst part is? I actually believed you when you said those late nights were for work. I comforted Claire when she called crying about being lonely. Do you know what that makes me? A small crowd has gathered now, smartphones discreetly raised. Let them record. Let them see. I trusted you. Both of you. My voice doesn't shake. I won't let it. That's over now. An hour later, I sit in my boutique's boardroom with Jonathan and Veronica Adams, my mentor of 10 years. The evidence we've gathered covers the polished mahogany table bank statements, emails, photographs that make my chest ache until I transform the pain into purpose. The judge will want to see a clear pattern of financial exploitation. Jonathan says arranging documents with precise movements. These unauthorized withdrawals, the hidden accounts, they tell a compelling story. Veronica leans forward, her presence as steady as it was the day she first convinced me to open my boutique. Your clients are rallying, Madeline. The video testimonials are powerful. They see you for who you area woman, who built something beautiful and refuses to let it be destroyed. I run my fingers over a photograph from last Christmas, Derek, Claire, and me, smiling at the camera like we weren't all hiding knives behind our backs. The image blurs and I let myself feel it. Really feel it. The betrayal, the anger, the deep, burning certainty that I will not let this break me. Later, in my home office, I sit surrounded by the evidence of my life's work. Awards line the walls, each one a testament to what I've built, what I've earned. The familiar weight of my aged Chardonnay glass grounds me as I spread everything out on my discovery message, every receipt, every moment I chose to ignore the truth. My hand doesn't shake as I write. The legal pad fills with precise, measured strokes. Steps. Actions. A blueprint for survival that becomes a manifesto for revenge. Each word I write transforms the ache in my chest into steel. The boutique taught me how to turn pain into profit, betrayal into business strategy. The cursor on my laptop blinks, drawing my attention to a folder I haven't opened in months. Project Revival. Something about the name tugs at my memory. I click. The screen fills with encrypted emails. My breath catches as I scan the correspondence between Derek and someone named only as financial consultant. Offshore accounts, property transfers, a web of financial manipulation so intricate it makes me dizzy. My phone sits silent on the desk. For the first time since that text message shattered my world, I feel the ghost of a smile touch my lips. Derek thought he was so clever, hiding his tracks. He forgot who he was dealing with. Forgot that I built an empire from nothing while he played at being the supportive husband. I save the emails to a secure drive, my mind already racing with possibilities. In the gleam of my laptop screen, I catch my reflection eyes bright, shoulders straight. The woman who stares back at me isn't a victim. She's a force of nature, and she's just found her weapon. The cursor blinks on my laptop screen, a steady rhythm matching my heartbeat. My office chair Italian leather, a reminder of better days cradles me as I log into our joint account. The boutique's morning deliveries can wait. This matters more. Initiating transfer freeze, I murmur, fingers hovering over the keyboard. The action feels momentous, yet it's just a few simple clicks. Click, confirm, click again. Years of shared finances severed in seconds. My phone buzzes. Jonathan Pierce, me lawyer, my shield against the chaos Derek has unleashed. Madeline, he says, voice crisp through the speaker. I've prepared the documents for the house transfer. Are you certain about this? Am I certain? I glance at the framed photo on my desk, Derek, and me standing proud in front of our 4-bedroom dream home the day we bought it. His arm around my waist, my smile radiant. The frame's edges blur as tears threaten, but I blink them back. Do it, I say. $870,000 of carefully invested boutique profits went into that house. He doesn't get to take that from me, too. The deed transfer documents arrive in my inbox with a soft ping. Each page requires my signature, my deliberate claim to what's mine. I review every line, every clause, ignoring the tremor in my hands. The house, The accounts, my life. I'm taking it all back, piece by precious piece. My phone lights up again. Derek's face appears on the screen, a candid shot from last summer's vacation. I should have known even then. The way he kept disappearing for work calls. The way Claire just happened to be vacationing at the same resort. I let it ring. The confirmation emails start flowing in. Account freeze successful. Deed transfer in process. Each notification feels like a small victory, a step toward reclaiming control. Then the texts start. Derek, you can't do this, Maddie. Think about what you're throwing away. Derek, I'll explain everything on Channel 8 tonight. Please, just listen. Derek, you're making a mistake, Claire and I. I block his number. The afternoon sun slants through my office windows as I watch Derek's desperate performance on Channel 8's evening news. His hand trembles as he adjusts his tithe blue silk one I gave him for our anniversary. The irony makes me want to scream. It's not what it seems, he pleads to the camera. Madeline's actions they're vindictive. She's trying to destroy what Claire and I have built. What they've built. On the foundation of my trust. With the bricks of my love. Using the mortar of 15 years of marriage, I open my laptop and begin uploading documents. Bank statements showing the unauthorized withdrawal. Property records proving my investment in our home. Email trails documenting Derek's deception. The truth laid bare in pixels and data. Social media explodes. Screenshots of my evidence spread like wildfire. Comments flood in, most supporting me, some questioning my motives. I let them talk. The truth doesn't need my defense, it speaks for itself. The next morning, sunlight streams through the modern atrium of Blackwell & Associates. Jonathan stands to my left, Veronica to my right. A wall of cameras faces us, hungry for the story of betrayal and revenge that's captivated the city. Jonathan steps forward first, his voice carrying the weight of legal authority. The evidence we're presenting today demonstrates a clear pattern of financial exploitation and breach of trust. He lays out the timeline methodically, each point another nail in Derek's coffin. Veronica takes the podium next. Her silver hair catches the light, her presence commanding respect. I've known Madeline for 15 years, watched her build her business from nothing. Her integrity is beyond question. The screens behind us light up with video testimonials. Sarah Chen, my first employee, now a successful boutique owner herself. Madeline gave me my start when no one else would. She leads with honesty and grace. Marcus Rodriguez, real estate developer. I've done business with both Derek and Madeline. Only one of them has ever kept their word. More voices join the chorus. Clients, colleagues, friends. Each one a thread in the tapestry of truth we're weaving. Later, alone in my office, I sit reviewing encrypted emails on my ultra-modern laptop. A notification catches my IA hidden folder labeled Operation Eclipse. My breath catches as I open it. Spreadsheets, bank transfers, emails between Derek and an external financial consultant. The pieces click together with sickening clarity. This goes deeper than an affair. They've been planning this for months, maybe years. And Claire, the timestamps on these emails suggest she knew everything. I compile the evidence with methodical precision, my hands steady now. No more trembling, no more tears, just cold, clear purpose. Tomorrow, we'll release this final piece of evidence. But tonight, in this quiet moment, I allow myself to feel the full weight of what I've discovered. The betrayal isn't just personal anymore. It's financial, professional, criminal. I save the files and shut down my laptop. The city sparkles beyond my window, a testament to ambition and perseverance. My reflection overlays the lights of a woman transformed by betrayal into something stronger, sharper, more dangerous. Derek thinks he's won. He thinks $18,000 and my sister's better his prizes. He has no idea what's coming. I reach for my phone and type a message to Jonathan. Found something. Meeting tomorrow. Bring coffee. We're going to need it. The future stretches before me, uncertain but full of possibility. And somewhere in this glittering city, Derek and Claire are about to learn that they've underestimated exactly who they're dealing with. Let them celebrate tonight. Tomorrow we go to war. The heavy doors of the Westwood Civic Center swing open, and Derek storms in like a man possessed. His suit, the navy one I bought him for our anniversary last year, hangs wrinkled from his frame. A stack of papers trembles in his grip as he scans the community forum crowd. Even from my position near the back, I can see the desperation etched into the lines of his face. This is illegal. His voice cracks through the murmur of the assembled crowd. She's trying to steal everything we built together. I remain perfectly still, watching him unravel. My lawyer, Jonathan, shifts beside me but knows better than to intervene. This is exactly what we anticipated. Derek waves the papers like a battle flag. She's frozen our accounts, transferred the deed to our home. She can't do this. A few heads turn toward me, but most eyes stay fixed on Derek's performance. Someone whispers, "Is he drunk?" The question ripples through the crowd. His phone appears in his trembling hands. I watch as his fingers stab at the screen, knowing exactly what comes next. Right on cue, phones throughout the room begin to buzz. Derek's mass texts to our social circle his last desperate grab at controlling the narrative. "You all know me," he pleads, his voice dropping to something raw and ugly. "You know our family. Ask James Peterson about the development deals we did together. Ask Sarah Mitchell about—" "We've seen the records, Derek." James Peterson's steady voice cuts through Derek's rambling. The bank transfers, the hotel receipts, the timestamps on those messages to Claire. My chest tightens at my sister's name, but I keep my expression neutral. Let him flounder. Let them all see. The crowd's skepticism is palpable now. Derek's desperate logic crumbles against the wall of evidence we've quietly built over the past weeks. Every document carefully filed, every transaction traced, every lie exposed to sunlight. I rise smoothly and make my way to the podium, flanked by Jonathan and Veronica. The cameras flash as I take my position, their hungry eyes catching every detail: my crisp blazer, my steady hands, the slight smile that plays at the corners of my mouth. The family home, I begin, my voice carrying clearly through the atrium, valued at $870,000, has been legally transferred to my name. I lay out a folder of documents, each page a nail in the coffin of Derek's credibility. The joint accounts have been frozen pending investigation into unauthorized withdrawals. More camera flashes. Derek's face drains of color as the screens behind me light up with his private messages to Claire. The images are damning screenshots of lavish purchases, secret rendezvous, calculated deceptions. The truth, I say, letting my gaze sweep across the room, has a way of prevailing over deceit. The words land like a physical blow. Derek stumbles back, his papers scattering across the floor. No one moves to help him collect them. The next 48 hours unfold like a masterfully choreographed dance. Every major news outlet carries the courtroom footage. Jonathan's voice rings with quiet authority as he announces the dismissal of Derek's appeal. The judge's order for Derek to pay court costs feels like an afterthought of final indignity piled onto his complete defeat. Social media explodes. Number Justice for Madeline trends as my story catches fire. Former clients flood my inbox with messages of support. The city's most prominent business leaders, ones who once smiled politely at Derek's jokes at charity galas, now publicly distance themselves from him. His carefully cultivated image of the successful, charitable businessman crumbles post by post, share by share. 3 major investors reach out before noon, sensing opportunity in the wake of my victory. My boutique's phone rings constantly, with new customers and old friends alike, all eager to align themselves with the winner of this very public war. Meanwhile, Derek's own business connections evaporate. I hear through the grapevine that he's been quietly asked to resign from the Chamber of Commerce board. I watch it all unfold from my home office, the same space where I once consoled Claire through her loneliness. The irony isn't lost on me. A news alert catches my eye. Claire's nonprofit has lost 2 major donors. She's canceled her speaking engagement at next month's Women's Leadership Conference. The carefully constructed image of the dedicated humanitarian sister shatters alongside her lover's reputation. A notification pings on my laptop. Another email folder, encrypted, labeled Final Ledger. My fingers hover over the keyboard as I debate whether to open it tonight. The day's victory still hums through my veins, but something about this folder calls to me. The documents inside stop my breath. Emails between Derek and Marcus Lynn, a financial consultant whose reputation walks the line between aggressive and criminal. The correspondence reveals layers of manipulation I hadn't even suspected, plans that went far beyond their affair, schemes that Claire must have helped conceal. Her signature appears on documents transferring funds through a maze of offshore accounts. The timestamps match her humanitarian trips abroad. I print everything with mechanical precision, adding it to the file I'll share with Jonathan and Veronica tomorrow. But as I stand at my window, watching the city lights flicker like stars, a question nags at me. In all this perfect justice, what darker truths still lie buried beneath the surface of their betrayal? The answer, I suspect, will change everything. Again. Dawn spills through floor-to-ceiling windows, painting my modern kitchen in shades of amber and gold. The same kitchen where my world shattered 6 months ago now cradles me in morning stillness. My knife slides through fresh strawberries, with practiced precision, each slice a meditation. No more trembling hands, no more racing thoughts. I arrange the fruit on my favorite ceramic plate, the one Derek always complained was too expensive, and pour steaming coffee into an artisan mug. The rich aroma mingles with early morning air. Outside, skyscrapers catch fire in the sunrise, their windows blazing like signal flares announcing a new day. To freedom, I whisper, raising my coffee in a silent toast. The word doesn't taste bitter anymore. The boutique's new glass doors swing open under my touch, the bell's gentle chime welcoming me home. Morning light streams through expansive windows, catching the carefully curated displays I spent weeks perfecting. Each rack, each elegant arrangement speaks of rebirth. Madeline, Sarah, one of my longest-standing clients, wraps me in a genuine hug. The renovation is stunning. I can't believe how you've transformed this space. I guide her through the expanded showroom, past racks of curated designer pieces and artfully arranged accessories. Sometimes destruction makes space for something better, I tell her, meaning more than just the boutique's fresh layout. I've been following your journey, she says, squeezing my arm. You're an inspiration. In my newly renovated office, I pause before a wall of framed achievements. Each one marks a milestone. My first business loan approval, the boutique's original opening day photo, press clippings chronicling our growth. My newest edition of photograph of the renovation ribbon-cutting ceremony shows me standing alone, smiling directly at the camera. No shadow of Derek or Claire darkens the frame. The community center's worn leather couch creaks as I settle beside Rebecca. Afternoon light filters through dusty bookshelves, casting warm shadows across her tear-stained face. 6 months ago, I sat where she sits now, shattered by similar betrayal. I don't know how to start over, she whispers, twisting a tissue between her fingers. You start with one breath, I tell her, my voice gentle but firm. Then one decision, one small victory at a time. She looks up, hope flickering in her eyes. Like you did? The hardest part isn't the betrayal, I say, choosing my words carefully. It's believing you deserve better. Everything else follows from that. The setting sun paints my boutique's facade in shades of possibility. The new banner above the entrance catches the golden light, its message clear against the twilight sky. A new dawn boutique, where style meets strength. I stand on the sidewalk, taking in the moment. The gentle hum of evening traffic mingles with laughter from inside, where customers browse through carefully selected pieces. Each item tells a story of transformation, just like mine. My phone buzzes a text from my lawyer confirming the last of Derek's claims has been dismissed. I slide it back into my pocket without responding. Some chapters don't need an epilogue. Inside my elegantly appointed lounge area, I adjust the camera one final time. The red light blinks, recording. 6 months ago, I thought betrayal would destroy me. I begin, my voice steady. My husband and sister tried to steal everything I'd built, but they taught me something invaluable instead, that we are all stronger than we know. I lean forward, speaking directly to viewers I can't see, but whose stories I know mirror my own. Today I'm asking you, what does freedom mean to you when you've been betrayed? How would you rebuild your life? The question hangs in the air as I reach to stop the recording. But I already know the answers will flood in hundreds of stories of survival, of transformation, of people choosing to rise instead of break. Like me, they're learning that sometimes the most beautiful rebuilding happens after everything falls apart.